Unbelievable! Incredible! Unbelievable!
Save! And fuck our champions!
Good on Pepe! Goal! It doesn't get any better than that!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from Game in Frame here at a very damp and wet Randall's Island after a bit of a storm caused a little delay to this first division matchup, as the reserves game was halted due to lightning, and of course they had to go off the pitch and re-enter to finish their matchup. Of course, the game in question today is New York International taking on Manhattan Celtic 2. Match day 19 in the Cosmopolitan First Division. Of course, a game under the circumstance, under everything that is currently going on in the First Division, is of immaculate importance. Of course, let's begin with New York International, who start the day in second place, tied on points with Polonia on 42 after Polonia's thrilling 1-1 tie midweek against Sanzak. Of course, Danilo Nivkovic at the end with a stellar stop to prevent the 3 points for Polonia. New York International can go 3 points clear, of course, with a win today, as both Sanzak and Polonia actually don't play in the league. They actually have a cup game tomorrow, so it's a big opportunity for New York International to put pressure and to go 3 points up clear at the top of the table. Of course, playing one game more, but of course they have the tiebreaker with Polonia at the moment. So of course New York International features the best attack in the league, scoring 51 goals in 18 games. And the little parentheses, they also have the Kilby Cup final on Wednesday taking on Hoboken. So just an idea out, but of course business as per usual, I would assume, today, and then to feature in the Kilby Cup final against Hoboken. Manhattan Celtic 2, on the other hand, are searching for 3 points to overtake Kid Super Samba 2 in the standings, and are coming off a narrow 1-0 loss against Borgero last time out. Of course, the last meeting between the two sides was a 4-0 victory for New York International over Manhattan Celtic 2 on November 24th. Of course, like we mentioned in our previous stream, there are games are beginning to trickle down. There's 4 games left in the regular season. Therefore, a maximum of 12 points left to play in this seismic importance. Of course, the seismic importance is to try to grab every 3 points as possible and to see where it takes you on the last week of the season, because from my eyes, from my gambling eyes, from what I see, it might go down, very well down, to the last game of the season. Of course, Sanzak, other than them featuring in their cup game tomorrow, have a game against FC Lucchini on Tuesday, and Polonia will take on Borgero on Thursday. Therefore, like we mentioned, if New York International can come away victorious today, they will be 3 points up until Tuesday or Thursday, rather Thursday, because Polonia will play on Thursday. Like we mentioned, Sanzak play on Tuesday. So that's the pre-match notes. Of course, the game got delayed a bit because of the rather vicious rainstorm, but luckily myself and our very dedicated cameraman are here and ready to broadcast this game live. Of course, New York International will be in their all-black kit with their gold trim, and of course Manhattan Celtic, will be in their green and white hoops, white shorts, white socks. The 3-man crew is are rather about to walk out with the two sides. We will also feature a minute of silence for Mr. Rapaglia, a legend of New York soccer, as we see the two sides line up to enter this Randall's Island field number 70 pitch. as the two sides enter the pitch. Of course, like we mentioned, New York International, their classic black kit, all black kit with their gold trimmings, gold lettering rather, with their captain number 24 Jordan Trott leading them out, and of course Manhattan Celtic in their classic white and green hoops. As now we will have our moment of silence. Lovely touch by both sides, and of course the referees, as the teams won't swap sides, so New York International will begin attacking from left to right, and Manhattan Celtic attacking from right to left in this first half. New York International will line up with a 4-2-3-1 formation with their mainstay in goal Gary Philpott at right back Kraft, left back Saul. In the heart of the defense is Champengele and Siambe, the 2 sixes Jordan Trott, of course the captain, alongside Cohen. Theodorescu one side, Ryan at the other side, Rowley at the 10, and Johnston at the center forward to begin, and of course Jalot, Reeder and Vermeulen on the bench for New York International. A couple of absentees for them today, but the importance of the matchup, of course the 3 points is a must. As we're underway here at Randall's Island, field number 70. A wet day, as the first possession is for Celtic. Yoshizaki. Diagonal towards the left full back, but the skip of the ball bypasses him.
Yes, yes, lad.
As we wait for Sam Kraft to retrieve the ball. Well won by Trott. And Rayonso with some possession for Manhattan Celtic. Back to Gary Philpott. Some space for Philpott to exchange with his centre back. New York International trying the left-hand side. Theodorescu's entering the box late. It's served in towards him. Alex Theodorescu forced a bit wide. And ricochet. That'll be a corner kick for New York International. A good sprite beginning from them. We're going to have a stoppage here. Not exactly sure for what. Maybe someone else just had to check in. Of course, nonetheless, corner kick for New York International with in whip towards the penalty spot. Siambe leaves it. And out of play. Ryan couldn't control. Jordan Trott, of course, the captain, like we mentioned, playing a deeper role today. We usually see him at the 10 or on one of the two wings, but playing one of the two double pivots, if you'd like, for his side today. Towards the center forward for Manhattan Celtic. And that a play for New York International throw-in. Definitely temperatures are dropping a bit after the rainstorm. Roger Campbell will go over to take the throw-in from left full back. Thrown in. Rowley gets two contacts on it. Rayon, so back in. So to Rowley again. On the top of the box. Definitely the wind is seemingly from nowhere picking up, so that's something for the two sides to keep an eye out on. Siambe. Back to Gary Philpott. Flung in again, trying that left-hand side, popped back in. He's the wrong side of the line, and Laflash will have his first touch of the football. Laflash in the goal for Manhattan Celtic today. Both sides seemingly playing a similar formation of 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 if you'd like. Sung on the left wing, just inverting for the fullback in Roger Campbell to latch onto this diagonal service. Serves it towards the box. It reaches the man on the second post. The shot comes in and well deflected. thrown in, and Philpott will communicate with his centre back, who got his body between his, actually slightly tangled in the net, but a hand from his goalkeeper up. Goal kick is the outcome. Free kick would have been probably in the same location. So we carry on with Siambe from centre back, exchanging with his fellow centre back, and back to Philpott, who can just assess the situation a bit. Over it goes. Goalkeeper is asking for it. A little bit of a miscue there. Theodorescu's touch. Theodorescu bearing down on goal, cuts it back. And at the last, before it can reach his teammate, an intervention. But activity from Alex Theodorescu. Sam Kraft from right full back, trying to get his service in. Out of play for a Laflash goal kick. Laflash will, with no press on from New York International in this instance, play out with Yoshizaki, and now Reonso. Clever feat to bypass a bit of a press. Raleigh was there to just intercept for one moment, and out of play for a Manhattan Celtic throw-in. Of course, both sides in need of points for various reasons. Of course, New York International, like we mentioned, can go top, and Manhattan Celtic, on the other hand, trying to overtake Kids Super Samba. Very interesting matchup. Philpott. Back to Philpott. We've seen, of course, New York International just in these moments spread their lines, and of course Philpott, a goalkeeper with good footwork and good distribution, can just inch his way up and find the correct time to locate his pass. It's cut across to Theodorescu. Theodorescu trying to dance onto his right foot, and goalkeeper Laflash gets a bit of his own on the football to clear. Campbell first time. Dan Cohen. Challenge coming down, and a yellow card brandished. I believe that was Ryan who was taken down. Nonetheless, a free kick in an appetizing position for some service, and of course the first yellow card of the match brandish. Siambe is making his way up from center back. A loaded area for the New York International heads to attack. It's served in. Goalkeeper gets knuckles on it. Kraft trying to find Theodorescu. Song. Back to Campbell. Ece has just stayed about 10 or so yards on the left-hand side looking for some service. Now he's back in the center as his side articulate the ball a bit. Yoshizaki left by Reonso. Song trying to make some width. Free kick. And Jordan Trott just with signal just to load one of the sides. He'll serve it diagonally towards the left-hand side. First contact is won by a teammate, but out of play for a goal kick. Yoshizaki, Reonso dropping between lines to pick up the possession. Viveros making a movement, trying to find his center midfield partner, if you'd like, with a bit of a third man run. Clever touch. And Jordan Trott. Piazza getting the possession towards his winger in Song. Song wins the side of throw-in. And we'll leave it to the fullback, Campbell. Another throw-in for Celtic. 14 minutes gone, 0-0 here at Randall's Island. A couple of half chances for New York International. Champengele appeals of a high foot. Have to be a little careful here in areas like this, but a shot from a long way away will not trouble Philpott. And Champengele. Philpott. Of course, just see this action first. Philpott will try to go direct. Second ball will fall to the captain. Campbell has to get there first, pops it out of play. Reonso lifting it towards the right hand side. First contact was New York Internationals. Come away with the possession here. Jordan Trott. Rowley lifts it. Has to be careful here. The defense almighty coming together. And a corner kick in the end. Johnston was causing havoc again from center forward, and good bit of defending in the end to, at the last, poke it away for a corner kick. New York International side very good with their set piece deliveries. Have different variations of such. Theodorescu is all the way in the second post, but the service will come in towards the first. Cleared away. The shot thumped into the ground. Flash stayed at home. Viveros. Trot. Song controls. It'll fall to Cohen. Sprays it neatly to the left-hand side. Towards Ryan. Couple of step overs from Ryan. Service low towards Theodorescu. Shot comes in. And good save in the end by LaFlash on a wobbling ball, it has to be said. Got something behind it. Not done yet, however. Alex Theodorescu's shot is skewed wide. But good bits of pressure from New York International. Back to Reonso. Song's movement, but over to Campbell. Song around the corner. Viveros, free kick. Campbell diagonally. Intercepted by Cohen, tries to find the center forward who cushions it, but the subsequent pass forward overhit and LaFlash can collect. Yoshizaki from center back. Reonso again. Piazza getting a touch back to Yoshizaki. And again, Reonso. Viveros making a lot of movements forwards, almost playing as a second center forward at times, but of course starting in the midfield. As Reonso is the one to go a little further back some meters to pick up the possession if you like. Forwards towards Johnson. Uses body well and cushions it to Rowley. Theodorescu is now pressing Campbell. Song flicks it. Siambe lifts it. And too much for Theodorescu. LaFlash. Yoshizaki. Theodorescu has to stretch to keep it in play. He'll do that. On the underlap is the fullback. Pokes it. Out of play, however. Goal kick for LaFlash. Into the air. Piazza with 2 bites at it. Siambe just hearing Gary Philpott behind them as he had time to just cushion it back to his goalkeeper. Cohen. lot of communication between different lines in the New York International setup. Philpott just pointing out some instructions, more so to keep the possession and to maybe dictate the game a bit in areas as such. Here he is a long way off his goal. Chamengele. Now they can get up the pitch. Served diagonally towards Theodorescu, but the skip of the ball will trickle out of play. Of course, on artificial turf as such. When it does get wet, it needs a correct weight of pass, or just feel it out a bit to see how the ball skips or bounces on this turf field. Of course, it did rain viciously before, so maybe the footing is also in question, but both sides seem to be very good so far. Laflash, no press from Theodorescu. Center backs will split. Yoshizaki. Possibly thought of serving it forwards. Reonso to Viveros. Campbell has to go retrieve. Reonso again. Edge's movement is now over towards Viveros, and Philpott collects. 24 minutes gone. We remain at 0-0. Nice line splitting pass by the goalkeeper. Campbell goes over. Free kick. Campbell will leave it for Yoshizaki. Yoshizaki loads to the second post. Chamengele's first and poked away. Sliding attempt, bypassed by Viveros, who can just keep the possession now. Viveros back to Campbell. Reonso has to be careful here. Johnson's press was almost enough to retain the possession. Edge towards Song, offside. Good link-up play, but Song was on the wrong side of the last line of defense. Quickly risen flag to peter out that attack. Or instructions from Philpott. Chamengele. Philpott again. Saul is almost playing as a winger at times on that left-hand side. Trot spins cleverly, but dispossesses Philpott's a long way off his goal. Song didn't spot him. Now he takes a shot, and it's past the second post. What a moment that was in transition. Song presumably thought that Philpott was a bit further back. He did get back in time and covered his angle, and Song's shot drifted wide. Substitution for New York International, and a bit of a change at the front four, if you'd like. Jalot has entered on the left-hand side. Johnson is remaining through the middle. Let's just see this action first. a risen flag, but the ball will peter out for a goal kick regardless. So the front four now will consist of Jalot on the left, Theodorescu on the right, as he began the match, Johnson through the middle, and Ryan playing the number 10 role now. Rowley presumably has gone off because the double pivots have remained the same in Trott and Cohen. Kraft still at right fullback, Siambe, Chamengele, and Saul the back four. So just one change for New York International. Maybe a different look, or spotted something that just wanted to tweak and alter in the first 27, 28 minutes here. We remain at 0-0. Campbell's throw. Piazza's movement, so to Viveros. He wants to find his center forward, however. Uses his body well. Gets it back to the fullback, who tries to dink it over Siambe. And the covering defender is there to clear.
Well down there, mate. It's even further. Yeah. You can take it up to where the ref is. Up where the ref is.
Thrown in. An opportunity for transition now. Johnson was screaming for it. Theodorescu was trying to press the second ball. A Flash gets a good clearance on it, but all the way from one goalkeeper to the other. Clever turn by Johnson, wants to find Ryan, over hit, but he'll just force the Flash to come out and collect. Yoshizaki. More substitutions for Manhattan Celtic. I believe that's Tyler George has that has entered on the right hand side for Celtic. So both sides, in a sense, swapped wingers, or introduced a winger off the bench. Jalot on the left hand side, as we mentioned, and Tyler George now featuring on the right hand side for Manhattan Celtic. Here is Jalot. Here is Tyler George's first involvement. Just overhit for his center forward Edge, and Philpott with a good starting position out to collect Siambe. Saul. Chambengele towards Trott, who's dropped in between the center backs to pick up the possession. Delivers a neat ball to Theodorescu. His first touch was a little awkward, but he controlled it nicely. Theodorescu got his shot on target in the end with a bit of a swirl on it, but LaFlash was comfortable at his first post and will bowl it out to the right hand side. Reonso, Viveros exchanges with his center midfield partner. Jalot going over to press, so to Saul, gets a little nibble on it. A little 50-50 in the middle of midfield. The ball will fall to New York International, and Siambe with the possession now. Back to the center back. Kraft and Cohen ahead of him. He can just inch his way up if he throw in for New York International. Maybe a long throw in. Popped back in, and the free kick. Certainly the wind has picked up a bit after the bit of rain that caused a delay to this matchup. So with a good service, it can be quite awkward for the defense and or the goalkeeper to judge the flight of the ball. This is going to be served in with right-footed in swing, a loaded area for New York International. Siambe, of course, up there. Now they're forming a bit of a cluster. Theodorescu in there as well. First ball doesn't beat the first man, however. Champengele can attempt to reload, but Eje there to block the ball out of play for a throw-in. Kraft flings it into the box. Jalot tries to cushion it, but it'll fall to Tyler George. Viveros. Campbell. Free kick. Yoshizaki wants to find Tyler George, the skip of the ball, forcing him to stretch a bit, but it'll trickle out for a throw-in. 34 minutes gone here at Randall's Island, Field 70. We remain at zeros. Philpott has to bring that down. Floated over the top. And it'll be left to the goalkeeper. Song has to lengthen his stride to get there. Shot coming over, and a lovely time challenge, a thick challenge, but the ball was won out of play for a throw-in as we enter the last 10 minutes in this first half. Campbell towards Eje. Hacked forwards. The bounce is kind to Yoshizaki, and he can just cushion it back to LaFlash. Campbell has stayed up, forcing Theodorescu to cover. Athletically taken down by George. Great tackle by Saul. Will pick up his head, find his center midfielder. Siambe line splitting left. Theodorescu trying to get between 2 and 3, and Campbell. Theodorescu bites back for more. And overhit for Johnson. Yoshizaki again to Reonso. Song with Kraft on his back. Good pressure by the fullback. Gets the possession for his side. Ryan towards Jalot. Jalot almost intricate and almost found Johnson. Saul, Cohen, Siambe. Fullbacks are almost on the touchline now. Here is one of them, but the flag is risen. as the free kick came in. And the yellow card, let's just see this, however, because the flag was risen before the infringement, but there's also a player down. Just see how this will referee just going to go over to have a word with his linesman. I would presume the yellow would be rescinded as the contact came over. Indeed so. Good bit of refereeing there just to ensure that first the offside occurred before the infringement. So yellow card rescinded, and we restart with a free kick for New York International, Manhattan Celtic, excuse me. New York International trying to find the goal before the half. So too Manhattan Celtic, who've had a couple chances of their own, most notably Song's effort as they picked up a loose pass in New York International's final third. Yoshizaki exchanges with his centre back, who has some meters ahead of him. Teodorescu controlled. Little stumble. Johnson is through. Johnson cuts it onto his left foot. Wants to find the teammate. Teodorescu's there to press, but cleared away towards Viveros. Cohen's first contact. Trot furthermore forwards. And Jalot's press forces a clearance for New York International throw-in. Back to Chamingele. Lifts it over towards Kraft. Good first control. Still work to be done, however. But a free kick for Campbell. Towards Song. Kraft, who got back in position after his foray forward, has to be careful here. Gets enough of it back to Siambe. Chambingele will elect the safe option of Philpott. Now they can build from back to front again. Jalot. Johnson's movement ahead, so to the overlap from the fullback. Towards the centre forward, cleared away before it could reach him. Teodorescu wins a 50-50. With great appetite, Alex Teodorescu tries to swivel and turn. Teodorescu gets it into the box, and a teasing delivery at that. It'll fall all the way towards the touchline to Jalot, who reloads. A beautiful effort, but just the wrong side of the post. Clean contact on it. Awkward service in the end. It was reloaded in towards Ryan, who wrapped his foot around it, but just passing the forehand post. But probably the best chance of first half so far for New York International to find the first goal. Campbell. Exchange with the centre forward, Neat. And round the corner towards Song. He will, however, be called for an offside. 3 minutes left in this first half. actually a referee just explaining that it wasn't thrown indeed offside, so Song was probably the man to be called for the offside. Champion Gellet. Theodorescu is just trying to stretch the pitch as much as possible, but in these moments Manhattan Celtic can, if they can transition quickly, might have an overload. Jalot around the corner to Saul. Sliding tackle prevents the fullback from latching onto it. Some important last moments here in this first half. Of course, a match of big importance for both sides on both sides of the table. We remain at a stalemate. Trot and throw in for Celtic. George wins another throw-in. Some advantage there from the referee. Good one at that, as Jalot appeals, and they handball just on the outskirts of the penalty area. As we've entered the last minute in this first half, a very appetizing position for a set piece for New York International. The angle will probably presume it to be a cross, but you can also just devilishly tease it to the back post. Let's see what the option is. The service is on the top of the box. A shot skewed wide, but the area certainly was loaded and left Cohen some space to try his right foot. Some last seconds here in this first half. 0-0. Flash will just clear his lines here, presumably. Don't really want to risk in the last minutes in the first half. LaFlash will put his foot through it towards the halfway line. Trot up. Jalot. Trot again. Some space. Edge trying to think it over the top, but again, Philpott, good starting position as the halftime whistle. A first half of a couple of half chances in the first 20 or so minutes, followed by a couple of big chances, one for either side. Song had a big chance to open the scoring, and so too Ryan in the later minutes of the first half. As before we go into our halftime break, let's just remind you that today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's freshest and most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game in Frame community an exclusive discount. Scan the QR code to get a 10% off discount. Keep it fresh. And of course, stay tuned for more Game in Frame action tomorrow, as we will have the New York Ukrainians taking on Manhattan Kickers at 2 p.m., a Cosmopolitan First Division matchup. Hoboken FC will take on Greek Americans at 4 p.m. at Laurel Hill Park in the APSL Metropolitan Conference. Manhattan Celtic taking on Kid Super Samba at 6 p.m. Another APSL Metropolitan Conference matchup, followed by the last APSL matchup of the day. Richmond County will take on Nyack New York Athletic Club at 8 p.m. as those are the matches to keep an eye out on for tomorrow. And of course, stay tuned for the second half here at Randall's Island.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have
Tristino into Junior Azero, gets half a yard, catches it beautifully, and opens the scoring with a rip-roaring strike.
Leaves it for Saiti. Baron, crafty, goal Richmond! Back and forth we go, now it's 2-1, it's Dylan Meadows, assist for Baron.
Shango can't quite keep it. Yo, pick it up, dangerous area, Malachi with a shot. Beautiful save from the keeper.
Smith, now gonna bring it forward. Smith gets through two. Smith into the middle. He scores!
Mohu. Tug at the shirt. He's had a hit. What a strike!
To the captain with a lot of space. Crossed inside, using his chest. Aristotle Zazulin to the rescue.
Base. And he's looking for Richmond. He's played a nice ball over the top. He's gotten it under control. A little clip over the top. What a goal. Ball is about 23 yards out. Richmond has a hit, and he's wrong-footed DeMars. Richmond has two in less than 3 minutes.
Burkhart fires! Oh, that went in! That was off the bottom of the bar!
Burdick or Espinosa? It's Espinosa for a hat trick to his right foot. Hat trick for Espinosa.
Now Pickett is on the clear. He can score here, and it is saved by Cleveland.
Neto leaves it. Oliveira, 2-1, perfectly placed. Good enough pace to beat Valencia, but also the placement as well.
Now he's on. Kamara's on sides. Kamara gets around the keeper. This could be it. Could finish. It's two. That's the final whistle.
Right side, isn't it? Can he bend it around the wall? He's gone for it, and it's tipped over the crossbar. Joe Holland, once again Perez called into action.
Willie goes long, trying to find Reynoso. Reynoso gets a touch over the keeper. Reynoso open goal. And he finishes.
Looking for Taylor the rescue. And lands to Jallo instead. Jallo still on the ball. He cuts inside. He takes a shot. And he scores! Here's Jallo. 99 makes a move. 99 puts it in the box. And there's a goal! Ryan saves the day for International. Trot now, putting the nail in the coffin. Here is Piggott. Piggott one-on-one. Piggott with the shot. Piggott with the goal! There it goes. There's a victory, International, we're looking for.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Welcome back, guys, to the second half kickoff, which is imminent here. First half 0-0. As we're back underway here at Randall's Island. New York International, Manhattan Celtic deadlocked at 0. Reonzo, little loose. Alex Theodorescu almost got around LaFlash, who has to be said was out in a flash. Free kick here. Jordan Trott standing over the dead ball. Trott serves it. Some contact in the box on Theodorescu. Maybe coming together, but goal kick for LaFlash. International want to press high here. Let's see also to what was said during the halftime interval. Maybe a bit of a tactical reshuffle if you'd like. But from what I see, Theodorescu's gone up to play center forward. Substitution actually. Vermeulen, who just won that latest header, is in the middle of midfield, maybe pushing Jordan Trott further up, so it's something to keep an eye out on. So maybe it's Theodorescu and Trott playing the 9 and the 10 if you'd like. Here's Saul's throw-in. Trott tries to flick it, and will win his side a corner kick. Jalot to take within swing towards the penalty spot. Siambe was there lurking, but cleared away by the Celtic defense. Back to Philpott. Controls with the chest and finds his center back, pressed by George. Good footwork by Chamengele. Alejandro Saul to Jalot. The overlap coming from the left full back, retains it. And who did that come off last? As a man is still down, so sportingly going over to just lend a hand. I believe that's Eje, who was down for a moment, but on his feet. Another set piece for the Celtic defense to contend with. Jalot again, standing over it. Jalot's service to the first post, needing a flick. Got a flick, it's bobbling around awkwardly. Finally, George will put his foot through it. Kraft pokes it back towards the area. Vermeulen was beaten to it. Kraft, here's Vermeulen, picks up his head nicely and finds Jalot. What part of body did he control that with? Is possibly the shoulder or the sleeve of the arm, as I say. Nonetheless, a free kick for Thacker to serve it towards the line. Saul, Viveros, Jalot, trying to find Alex Theodorescu. It will fall back to Jalot. Jordan Trott will some service. Did that come off the post, or did Laflash apply some knuckles to it? Nonetheless, it was cleared away. I believe it was the goalkeeper with some last bit of knuckles. Good. Thacker will find Reonso and out of play. And also a restructure possibly for Manhattan Celtic in their front line. Tyler George is playing the number 9. This is a bit awkward, needs clearing. A shot comes in and Laflash low down, and a smart save. An awkward clearance, but Laflash was there to dive low to his right hand side. Another corner kick for New York International. Jalot's service, this time to the second post. Siambe just overhit for him. And the Celtic throw. Cleared away. Siambe and George in a duel. Tyler George tries it, and oh my goodness, that would have been a spectacular effort. Beautiful improvisation from Tyler George, who tried to lob Philpott, but it evaded the second post. Warning sign certainly for New York International. Vermeulen finds Jordan Trott. The captain will pick up his head and elect for some service towards the right-hand side. Neatly done. Alex Teodorescu and Jalot into the box. The service appeals for a handball. Nothing given by the referee, who was in good position. Again over towards George. Vermeulen, Champengele has to be careful here of George's press. Teodorescu's on the top of the box for a cutback. It was a shot that came in the end, and Laflash got enough on it. Another corner kick for New York International. Is this going to be the answer to find the all-important first goal? Both center backs up. Flung in, bobbling around. Siambe athletically looped his foot around it. Teodorescu before he can strike a free kick. Laflash, Saul, free kick. Champengele to Siambe, furthermore to the right fullback in Kraft, who's on another one of his overlaps. An opportunity for some service towards Teodorescu, cleared away. It'll trickle all the way back to now Saul, who is in possession. Left fullback will try a diagonal low, but out of play for a Celtic throw-in. Appeals. Throw in for Celtic. Off a couple of bodies. Tyler George controls it neatly. Sprays it to the right winger, who has to lengthen his stride to get there, but just unfortunately runs out of pitch. A throw-in for Saul. Champengele. Philpott. Vermeulen has to evade Viveros. Back to Philpott, first time to his centre back. Jalot picks up his head, wants to find Saul, who stayed further forward, cleared away. Thacker with 2 attempts on it, clearance. Floated, Kraft with the chest. Crossfield towards Jalot. At a play for a throw-in. Of course, guys, today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt Athletic have made the world's freshest and most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology, blocking fluorocrete car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game in Frame community an exclusive discount. Scan the QR code to get 10% off. Of course, keep it fresh. Throw possibly just slipped out of the hands. Retake. Vermeulen. Theodorescu's underneath it. Needs a clearance. It's a half one at that. A thumping effort off Reyonso. Jalot low. Clearance. And a furthermore forwards to eventually Philpott, who will drop in to collect it. Cohen. Vermeulen. And Siambe. Kraft from right full back again. Campbell dispossessed. Trott picks up the possession. Certainly a free kick. Jordan Trott around the wall, falls again, back to his feet, trying to maneuver a yard. Jalot floated in, has to be careful there, the goalkeeper, who was comfortable in the end. Piazza will leave it for Thacker. Thacker towards Tyler George, who's certainly made a difference. Didn't start the game, but after his introduction into the match has certainly made a difference. Celtic will have a corner kick. But before that, substitution for New York International. Looks like Lissou's come off. We'll get to that after this set piece from Campbell. Campbell serves it. Philpott with an all-important touch of the knuckles. Thacker is on a yellow, has to just be careful in moments like that, but he did well enough. Viveros to Song. Philpott. Pressing was George. Chambingele. For the moment, the fullbacks of Manhattan Celtic have swapped. Theodorescu just overhit again. Just in, certainly in moments like this, in games of this importance, the fullbacks will swap back over. In moments like this, in games of this importance, you just need a bit of quality on the last product, the last ball if you'd like. Here's some quality from Trott over the top. Goalkeeper a long way off his line, Laflash. His pass is loose, however, he's a long way off his goal. The goal is gaping and the goal is bypassed. Finally for New York International, they break free. Elation, Alex Theodorescu has opened the scoring. That is exactly what they needed. As that goal certainly is of immaculate importance for them. Theodorescu picked up his head and slotted it into the empty net. 1-0 to the good for New York International. A goal that was very much a necessity for them. Saul runs out of pitch. Philpott. Dispossessed. Rionso. Thacker. Presses on from Saul. Mullen picks off the possession. Certainly for New York International, both fullbacks have been quite adventurous. Now with a 1-0 lead, let's see how that will play out. Transition opportunity. Good bit of last bit of work there at the back. Jalot back to Saul. Will win his side of throwing. And will quickly take it towards Jordan Trott. There is the captain, Jordan Trott, serves it. Trying to find Alex Theodorescu. I certainly like the idea the centre forward is. The ball was just a bit misplaced. Rionso to Song. Kraft on his back and cleanly won the possession. Theodorescu. Song was back to defend. Piazza first time. Campbell so too. Towards George. Free kick. Rolling ball. Back to Philpott. Piazza. Maybe a free kick, a couple deflections and ricochets. Clever footwork, but retreating was the fullback. Late challenge possibly, but great advantage given by the referee. Jalot trying to find Theodorescu. Back to Laflash. Jalot. Cohen. Trot. Pressed by Piazza. Free kick. Jalot's first touch. Cleared away. 70th minute here. New York International have gotten the goal that was so too vital and important for them through Alex Theodorescu lobbing an empty net. And they have 20 minutes to possibly find the second to maximize their chances of the 3 points, the 3 points that are absolutely massive for them. We said in the pre-match and a couple times throughout the broadcast, as Celtic will have a throw in, the 3 points will take them into clear first place, 3 points above Polonia, who have a cup game tomorrow against Sanzak. No free kick ever. Theodorescu is continuing his movement into the box. The service overhit, however. So of course these 3 points for New York International, absolutely necessity, something that they have been craving from the first whistle. Are 20 minutes away from that, but certainly a long time in football is 20 minutes. We know what can happen. So let's just see how and if Manhattan Celtic will begin to maybe change something tactically to risk a bit more. Have been certainly dangerous in a few instances and could have actually opened the scoring themselves a couple of times. Good chances in the first half by Song, and in the second, notably Tyler George's beautiful effort. Kraft will serve it out of play. But New York International have broken through Theodorescu. Campbell. Trot. Viveros on the turn. Edge. George wandered into the channel. George just giving a thumbs up to his winger. He liked the idea, but Philpott was out to collect. So Philpott asking for it and receiving it from his center back. Siambe has gone off. He's been off a couple of 5 or so minutes now, possibly a bit more. Piazza. Clever turn. Edge. Driving. Neat footwork by Edge. Leaves it for the center midfielder Piazza. Lovely footwork again, this time Viveros. Viveros trying to jink onto the left foot, but good defending from New York International. Jalot pressed by Viveros and Thacker. Saul will retain it in play and serve it towards Theodorescu. Kind of isolated Alex Teodorescu dancing onto the right foot. Roger Campbell with some space to venture into. Again, Philpott a long way off his goal, and at the second attempt got just enough on it. He's still down. See when the referee will spot him. It did trickle out. As Philpott might have stumbled a bit after the second clearance. Nonetheless, a very important clearance by the goalkeeper. As Philpott will just receive some attention. Let's remind you that there's more game in frame action tomorrow. New York Ukrainians will take on Manhattan Kickers at 2 p.m. Cosmopolitan First Division matchup. Hoboken FC will take on Greek Americans at 4 p.m. APSL Metropolitan Conference at Laurel Hill Park. Manhattan Celtic will take on Kids Super Samba at 6 p.m. at a Metropolitan Conference APSL matchup. And of course, Richmond County will take on New York Athletic Club at 8 p.m. All of this, the APSL Metropolitan Conference. As the referee is just signaling that he has the time. Impromptu timeout if you'd like from what it looks like New York International to discuss some tactics while their goalkeeper for them, Gary Philpott, is still down. Not exactly sure if they have a backup goalkeeper on their bench today. The reserves obviously played before, but I'm not sure, as slowly getting back onto his feet and testing, I believe maybe he had the bit of a problem on the shin. Nonetheless, Nick Platt has also entered the field to give some instructions. As we resume with Thacker throwing, Philpott is back on his feet, just doing a bit of stretching on his goal line. I'm not exactly sure what the problem that he had was. Flick, just continuing to flex, but luckily for him and his side, he's back on his feet. Not entirely comfortable, but certainly a warrior, as we've seen in many of our previous streams. He's gonna certainly grit his teeth and try and continue this match for his side, a match in which they have found the lead after huffing and puffing in the first half. Both sides actually had some very good chances to open the scoring, but Teodorescu obliged to that. As we're in the 78th minute here. Jalot in tight quadrants. Clearance. Saul first time. Another clearance. Saul He's had a very impressive game at left back. Can he serve it or retain it from trickling out of play? He'll do the latter, as Rayonso is now pressed by Jalot. Good work from Saul and Jalot. Trot pops it into the air. A clearance. It's behind Cohen. He does find it. Theodorescu. And the corner kick for New York International. Referee's whistle. George athletically up. Spinning Kraft is Viveros. Kraft gets back in the end and pokes it out for a throw-in. Viveros will exchange with Campbell, who's high up the pitch now. Opened it a bit too much. Jalot is pressing Thacker. Thacker gets away from Jalot and spreads it to the left-hand side. It'll just about remain in play. Certainly the game will be a bit more stretched now in the last minutes. Certainly a free kick and yellow card. Ten minutes left in this very important game that New York International are 10 minutes away from a big 3 points, but Manhattan Celtic have riposted with a attacking substitution. We'll get to that after this set piece. So there's the answer. Here is the set piece, however, by Jordan Trott. Wicked. And it's in! Alex Theodorescu, the epitome of coolness, with poise and certainty, gets his side second and a brace for himself. A very important moment and a very important goal for his side. Alex Theodorescu at the double. As I was just going to mention that Manhattan Celtic threw on a centre forward to possibly play it all hell for leather if you'd like. Oscar Lugo, who has the kickoff now, is on for the last 10 or so minutes, but now they trail by 2. In the aftermath as well, a couple of substitutions for New York International. Rowley and Siambe have re-entered. Siambe actually playing the 6th, began the game at the centre back. Rowley back to Siambe. Philpott, good distribution, looks to have shaken off his knock previously and will collect it now. Again, Gary Philpott now will just assess a bit of calm. His side in a good position for the 3 points that will take him at the top of the table overnight and possibly until Tuesday and or Thursday night. Probably until Thursday, because Sanzak, we remind you, will take on FC Ulkini on Tuesday and Polonia will take on Borgero on Thursday, those 2 midweek games. So certainly will remain atop, as they also have the goal differential on the tiebreaker, on Polonia. So that's something to keep an eye out on. Theodorescu is on a hat-trick now. Viveros. Theodorescu. Trot service. Wicket to the second post. They got a touch. And LaFlash was there, luckily behind the trajectory of it. We'll pump it forward urgently towards the center forward. Lugo underneath it. Lugo trying to lob Philpott. Side of play. Of course, Lugo actually scored the winner for the reserves in the last seconds in their matchup. And now some afters. Philpott is down, and that's New York International maybe want to make some changes. Philpott will restart us with the goal kick. Reonso. Rowley's pressing. Has to be careful here. Ryan, good advantage, but the tackle was late. But Ryan continuing his movement into the box, serves it low, and LaFlash to collect. Certainly notched up a level of intensity and or some challenges flying in, and of course, game of this importance, have to play with intensity, but also have to be sure this is neat, but this is offside. Eight minutes gone. New York International 2-0 to the good. Can they find a third or just run out a bit of clock? It's going to be a couple of minutes added on, as we had a couple stoppages in this second half. Siambe dancing into the box. Cleared away. Kraft once again retrieving. Saul on another overlap. Endless running from both fullbacks. Here's another fullback. This time it's left in areas that really New York International want to keep the ball in areas like such. Vermeulen towards Saul. Vermeulen again. Crossfield to Trot. Viveros is beaten to it by Ryan, who just, it's a bit of calm. Kraft from fullback again. towards Siambe. Furthermore, back to Philpott. Certainly Celtic are playing with two centre forwards now. The risk maybe was beaten to the punch by the second goal of New York International. Just when they threw on the extra centre forward is when they conceded their second goal. Throw in for New York International. An opportunity for a third for New York International. On the top of the box, good defending. Certainly very stretched now as we've entered the additional time. Thrown in. Saul. Vermeulen trying to stand up across. George to Piazza. Viveros. Kraft again. Fullbacks seemingly don't get tired. Great defensive work, and now look at the offensive work. 91st minute, serving a cross in, fullback to fullback. This could be exactly what we were saying, but cleared away in the end, high into the sky. Thacker wins the throw-in. So we're at the referee's discretion now. We've entered the 92nd minute. New York International seconds away from a very big 3 points. That'll take them a top clear at the first position. Saul keeps it in play athletically. Third minute. Kraft will just keep it there and unfortunately run out of play. Another free kick. Trot service again. Overhit. Goal kick. So we went at the 95th minute. At the referee's discretion now, I see whistle to lips. This might be the last action. Indeed so. Final whistle here at the Randall's Island, field number 70, New York International, with a pivotal 3 points for them, taking them atop of the table, clearly on now 3 points difference from Polonia. A match of two halves in a sense. Both sides had very good chances in the first half. In the second half, Alex Teodorescu broke through and also got a second goal to conclude the 3 points for them. Final score here at the Randall's Island, field number 70, New York International, top of the table, New York International 2, Manhattan Celtic 0.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The salt air case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Welcome back, guys. I'm joined here by Jordan Trott, the captain for the side today, and Sam Kraft, the tireless running right full back. Let me begin with you, Sam. Of course, a very difficult game. Of course, there was a bit of pressure on you guys from the teams below you in the standings to put pressure on you to get the 3 points. You also have a cup final on Wednesday. Talk to me a little bit what was said before the game and in a bit of the tactical analysis of the game.
Well, I think we tried a bit of a low block or mid block today at the start of the first half. It was something a little bit new for us, and I think we probably struggled adapting to that. It's probably not necessarily the best sort of style of play for us. But second half we switched it up a little bit and just went more to the high press, and I think it worked. They couldn't really deal with us going forward, and we played a lot better football second half, I think. So I think probably 3 or 4 cup finals left for us now, and I think we just got to keep that momentum going forward.
Very well said. And of course, both in the first half and the second half, I saw the fullbacks up and down the whole flank, the whole pitch. Is that a part of your game as well? I saw Saul, of course, on the left-hand side and yourself on the right-hand side, just to overload and create some spaces to, of course, deliver a service or create defensive problems for the opposition.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we've got both fullbacks have got a very good footballing side, and we can play from all across the back four. So I think everyone can play, and I think we really just try to utilise that as much as we can.
And Jordan, of course, captain for the side. We saw that a couple of absentees today, and you guys also have a cup final on Wednesday. Excuse me. A little bit about what was also said and maybe tweaked. I know Sam said it at halftime, as your approach was much different and you caused a lot of havoc in the second half.
Yeah, I think we got a bollock in. To be honest, sorry, I'm not really fine. But yeah, we got a strong talking to, because we are top of the league. The teams are chasing us. Statistically, these boys are right at the bottom, and we did not shine ourselves in glory. And so, yeah, we got a big old talking to, but then we reminded ourselves about the history of the club, the mentality of the club, who we are, what we wear the badge for, and that was a mentality switch that we needed. And then, as Sam said, we switched to the high press, really stuck it on them. They couldn't really deal with it, to be honest with you. And that turned the game around for us. It was our change in mentality, getting a bollock in at half-time, and then switching to high press.
I heard, of course, here as I was standing and commentating the game, almost everybody encouraging one another, even when it was 0-0, when it was 1-0, encouraging, imploring Gary from goalkeeper, yourself in the middle of midfield. You mentioned mentality, and you mentioned possibly how heavy the shirt is, and I mean that with a compliment. In these moments, in these games, when you get the 3 points, what do you look forward in the next game, that being a cup final?
Yeah, I think, every game is a cup final for us now. We know it, and I was kind of saying to you on the walk over here, these games, honestly, are just as high pressure as the others. This is like a must win for us. It's like you should win. So in a way, it's even more pressure. So we keep the same mentality in. Honestly, the mentality of the boys is unbelievable. The group chat pops off. We're constantly bantering each other. We're a very, very cohesive group. And then when we do get the bollocking, when we do shout at each other and we say, look, that's not good enough. You can do better there. It's not taken as in a horrible way. It's okay, I know this person's trying to get through to me, and actually I can improve. And that's the same mentality that we take into every single game now. Honestly, it's going to be arrive early, up on training on time, working hard. That's what we are. That's what we are as a team.
Very well said. And Sam, of course, we mentioned the cup final on Wednesday against Hoboken. After that, you have 3 more finals, like you guys mentioned, in a sense. What goes through from tonight to Wednesday? What's the preparation like?
Yeah, it's just keep it as it is. I think we really need to keep the momentum, just keep the wins going on. We're training well, and we're trying to implement the things that we do in training. And at the end of the day, really, it's just about getting 3 points in every single one of those games. So just keep up the same, keep winning, and hopefully, come the end of the season, be successful.
And lastly, of course, I already know the answer to this, but what are your goals for this remainder for season? If you could just recap it briefly.
Win the league, win the cup, do the double. I actually don't know if there's a team that's ever got back-to-back promotions in this league. That's a stat we should probably check, but
we shall check that out for you, and we'll give it a yes.
Because that absolutely is the goal. Look, I bring it back to, we've said this many times, whoever you've interviewed, big shout out to Davide. We do this for him. We do this for the club. There is so many people behind the scenes that you really don't see. They don't get the limelight. They're not on the pitch, but they really do so much for the club. Nick, I want to shout you out. Coco, the president of the club. Minty, they do so much for us, and they allow us the freedom to play on the pitch. And we're just paying that back to them. They put in so much work, and that's the pay them back, do the double, win the cup. That's it, mate.
Very well said, guys. Congratulations on your victory today. Good luck, all the best on Wednesday, and we'll see you guys in future streams. Thank you guys for tuning in. Final score here at Randall's Island Field 70, as you heard from the captain Jordan Schott and the fullback Sam Kraft. Enjoy it. Victory, +3 points, top of the table. Thank you guys for tuning in.